My name is Holly Hall, and today I'm doing a persuasive speech on how to better come up with ways that women can afford birth control and the better understanding of contraceptives. So, women have come a long way. Back in the day, they used to be the stay-at-home moms. They would graduate high school and get married right away and start a family. Well, today is a different time. Women are starting to graduate college, get jobs. They're CEOs just like the men. They're competing with everybody. So, as a female, I know the struggle to get birth control. I know how hard it is to try to schedule a doctor's appointment and how much it costs. And so, for me being in college, that's a thing I'm looking at. But for high school girls, it's even harder to come across those things. So I gave everybody a number, females anyway, a number so you can flip those over. The number 3 is the number that is a teen pregnancy. So that's going to be you with the baby. I'll go on a little bit before I introduce more of the teen pregnancy. So, according to the article, A Brief History of Birth Control in the U.S., the FDA only started to approve birth control for menstrual disorders in 1957. And then after that, only married couples could get it in 1960. It wasn't until 1972 that anyone was able to use it. So today I'm here kind of trying to persuade you guys and persuade voters to take into consideration maybe that it would be beneficial for cheaper, more affordable birth control and having a better understanding of contraceptives. So we live in a society that's, going to high school, you probably had 1 or 2 girls that you knew that got pregnant and had kids. And actually, America's teens have the most pregnancies, births, and abortions of any Western civilization. So, that being said, you have the baby in high school. You're kind of put behind all the other girls because you haven't achieved your GED yet. You are a little bit behind because you don't have a job that pays for, diapers and bottles. You have maybe a part-time job that a lot of high school students have to go out on the weekends with their friends. Well, the Teen Sex article states that in the USA today, 46.7% of high school students have had sex at least once, and that 1/3 of girls will get pregnant before they're 20 years old. And of that 20% of girls will have their second kid by 20. So those numbers are kind of alarming to know that you or one of your friends could end up having a kid because you don't have the needs or the means to go get contraceptives. And then another part of high pregnancy or teen pregnancies is due to the rate of teen pregnancies, government programs have to assist young mothers. And then Jenny Black says that a study done in 2010 found that more than 1/3 of female voters have struggled to afford birth control. And if you're a teen voter, that's 18. So you would think anywhere from 16 to 18, these girls can't afford this. If, people over the age of 20 can't afford it, why would a high school girl be able to afford it? Also, a lot of high school girls are afraid to go to see a doctor or go talk to someone about this. So, that being said, not that there's anything wrong with having a child while you're young, but it's harder to come back from that. So the reason that a lot of girls are having kids in high school or young women in college are because they can't afford the cost of birth control. Black's article states that a birth control pill can range anywhere from $15 to $50 a month. So if you're struggling to get through school, or if you're in high school and you're only working a part-time job, and $50 is a lot times 12. And then according to Sarah Glazer, families beginning with a teen birth cost the government $25 billion in assistance, so anywhere from food stamps, welfare, Medicaid, Medicare. And studies show that if a child is born into poverty cycle, it's often repeated. So if you're a teen mother, chances are your child will grow up and be a teen mother, or, you know, teen parent. And a lot of people don't have education on the use of contraceptives. According to the CDC, at least 80% of teens have no formal sex education. So that would be saying, if you went to a high school who didn't teach any forms of contraceptives, how are you supposed to know where you can obtain them? How much are they going to cost? And a lot of times that's where you're having a problem. So kind of researched a little bit, and one way that students are not receiving the sex education that they should is because a lot of schools are pulling it due to funding, or there's a backlash between parents and the school. And so during this time, right now even OPS is having a problem with parents lashing out at the school, and they want to know why their kids are not being taught these things, and that could actually lower the rate in which teens are having unplanned pregnancies. So a solution to these problems could be that the government pays for contraceptives, and that they're easily gotten for young teen adults, and that they have access to doctors to prescribe them these, and the lower cost of birth control, instead of paying $50, maybe only $5, or people without insurance, or people who don't have, you know, these young teens don't have the means to go buy these, have some place where they can go ahead and pick them up, kind of like a Planned Parenthood without the charge. And then the second option would be teaching more sex education classes, teaching kids where they can get contraceptives, how to use them, what's the proper usage. And with that, I think that a lot of kids wouldn't be in the situation that they're in today. So I'm going to conclude this by saying you might not be in the situation of having a pregnancy or a birth or even an abortion, but you do have that, you know, option that, hey, you know, I'm running out of places I can go. You would have that option with putting this on a ballot. And so I think that the best options would be to, you know, go to the local government and push for more like classes, sex education classes, and push for cheaper, more affordable birth control and easier to obtain birth control. And thank you for listening to my speech.